The Mantis side quest is a really good way for starting characters to get their hands on a pretty powerful legendary spacesuit and a kick-ass ship. This ship in particular, the Razerleaf. Now, what's cool about this ship is that not only is it, well, your first ship aside from the Frontier, you don't have to purchase it. It also has unique dialogue built into it. When you come across certain spacers or pirates, there's a chance that they will react and be like, oh, you're the mantis, and they'll run away, which is quite cool in its own right. And it allows for some interesting encounters where you might get jumped by ships that are way outnumbering you and they decide to just kind of scoot off. But later on in the game, as you kind of level and start to get other ships, the Razorleaf kind of starts to dwindle. But I have a solution. Instead of kind of pushing it to the side and, moving on to the next big thing, looking at you conquer Fine Brick, I decided, why not upgrade it? So here is my custom rendition of the Razorleaf. Now, as you can see, it's quite different than the original. Uh, it doesn't have very many parts from the original, but it does have one or two. I mainly kept the cockpit because the encounter I was talking about, where when you meet spacers and stuff, they have a chance to run away. I wasn't sure if that was like hard coded on just the ship itself or just like the kind of the save file of the ship. So I kept the cockpit just in case, and yeah, it works. So the original Razorleaf was quite small, not a lot of space, and it was pretty lacking. This, on the other hand, is not lacking. So you put the best reactor in it, the best jump drive, the best shield. Now, obviously, these stats are a little bit different because of perks, but we can really quickly, we'll show at the end, like when we do the teardown, exactly what perks or what like stats. Because, like, for instance, we're using the best A-class shield, best A-class reactor, best A-class jump drive. So it's got a fuel of 280, which I kind of went for. I broke my rule. Normally, when I make ship videos, I always say, like, oh, stay away from the smaller ship fuels, go for bigger. But I went with these primarily because of the look of them. Like, you'll notice how the fuel tanks are on the side here. And I kind of like them being there as like kind of like, like the battery packs almost. Its hull is pretty decent, 864. Hull is something that's quite hard to increase. You have to kind of use specific weapons and certain modules to kind of boost it up. Now, the cargo on this ship is quite low. That cargo of 10,000 or 1,000 is not the cargo. The cargo sits at about 600. It's mainly has that the cockpit cargo, and then at the back there you can just kind of see, it's hard to see, but those little yellow, kind of see those yellow squares just above the loading ramp. They're there to give us a little bit of extra, kind of just a little bit. And then for weapons, I decided to go with some pretty pretty OP ones. So we went with some of the Vanguard particle weapons and the normal particle weapons. Anyway, let's get into the quick little run through of the interior, and I'll explain kind of the mentality behind things, and then at the end I'll show you how to build it. So here we are. So as you can see, I kind of wanted to go with this. I kind of wanted to make it more like insect-like, like the, even though it's the Razorleaf, but the mantis, a mantis being an insect. And I had this idea to put the engine or the reactor up in the front here. And I basically armored it, and it gave this kind of nice little shape where you have like this kind of like midsection at the front that kind of is out on its own. I quite like that. And then at the back here we kind of have just the your standard. Now we make great use of those 3015 engines that give us a max boost speed of 180. Anyway, in we go. So the original Mantis had very little in the line of interior, but I kind of wanted a bit more. Like you're supposed to be this kind of crime-fighting vigilante. You need more than just, a single kind of all-in-one berth. So the first room I put in was this one here. This, hello Sam. Put it in a workshop. This is something I do in all my builds. I like having the workshop close to the to the entryway, just so that way, if you, let's say you're doing a mission and you're like, crap, I forgot my scope, you can jump back on and you can slap your scope on. And then next, if we go up here, next room I decided to put on was computer core. Now, the reason I went with the computer core as opposed to going with the control station, which would be better from a gameplay point of view, the mantis kind of to me seems more like Batman, Bruce Wayne, who doesn't really use much crew. So it makes more sense having this kind of computer system that you can use to kind of find out and track all the various bad guys around the area. Now, next, off to one side, we have a little armory just for storing your goods, you know, your weapons and stuff. You are a vigilante after all. Got a nice little weapon case. And then if we come over this side, the other side of this here, we have the captain's quarters, just for your, you know, we need to do some R&R, as you do. Pretty nice, it's all demo stuff. And then if we head over this way, we have an infirmary for when you accidentally get hurt tussling with the bad guys, or if you save some hostages and you need to heal them. And then here we have a science lab, just because you never know. You don't know who you're fighting. Planets are pretty sketchy. You might need to develop some sort of I was going to say a toxin, but that's not really the word. Basically, if you need to develop anything from like some of the various drugs that are used to help in combat situations. And then we come around this way. Now there's a little there's a docking port there, and there's a little kind of a secret I went with. I liked the idea of kind of having this, like, the suit kind of in an area. Now the only issue with that is only one armory type actually allows you to store the suits. So I have stored the mantis suit down here in the Nova Galactic Armory. As we can see, we come in here and... Hello, Cora. How did... This was supposed to be a secretish area. Okay, anyway, we come in here and we have this... Cora? Where's the mantis suit? We'll be back. Okay, so after some harsh words and some extortion, Cora told me that she lost the suit. And for some reason, she thought it was funny to place this in its... Yeah, I see you. Don't peer in. It's not funny. Yeah, so if you did have the mantis suit, this was where you could store it. And you also have another storage if you want to, you know, store opposite suits. And we've got some other stuff here. One more strike and you're off the ship. So we got children. Anyway, if we head back up, you need to look at... Yeah, this is exactly why she is the way she is. Sam, like, you're a failure of a parent. Just staring at a wall. That suit had good perks on it. Anyway. So if we hop in back up here, we have the cockpit. And, like I said, I'm not... If you've watched some of my other videos, I'm not a huge fan of the Deimos cockpits normally because I feel like they don't fit certain ships because they feel more of a... Whoa, Jesus Christ, Sam! For fuck's sake, don't do that. Okay, yeah. All right, Sam, move the fuck... Whoa. Can you stop teleporting, please? Anyway, like I was saying, his family, the Cole family, are cursed. I quite like with this ship, just because it feels more like kind of a, you know, like a single occupant vessel. Anyway, we're gonna take her off and show you how she performs. Up we go. So as always, I have a perk that increases my power by 5. So we're going to be removing 5 pips just so you can kind of get a feel for the ship if you didn't have that power. So we're going to pull some from the missiles. So weapon-wise, we've got those quad particle cannons mounted under the wings. Got those secondary particle cannons that are mounted on the kind of the front section. And then we've got some missiles. Now you can fire an awful lot of missiles, which is very nice. Do a quick speed test. This ship has a base speed of 180, which I quite like that because I feel like, you know, you're supposed to be fast and quick. You need to be able to catch things. And then we've got a boost speed of, boost speed of 715, which is very, very good. Quick agility test real quick. So pitch. It's sitting at around 88 agility or mobility currently because of the storage. It's not bad. I'd say that's like a 9. And then the roll or the yaw again is really good. It's not the best, obviously. If you did want to increase the mobility to 100, you could remove the 2 cargo storage. But doing that, you'd kind of lose. You'd be left with about 280 cargo. And I like having a little bit of cargo. Anyway, we're going to go back down to the surface now, and I'll show you how I built it. Alright, so here we are in the teardown. Now this makes use of a lot of merging techniques, as you may have been able to tell. So I've kind of divided it into different sections. So we have the wings here, with each of the habitat modules. We have the top pieces, these sit above the wings. We have the landing gear, which is quite simple. We have kind of the middle body, with all of the kind of the fuel and the engines and stuff, and then we have a reactor, and then we have the top part. So we'll start off at the top here real quick. So you have the DS 20.2 Phobos cockpit from Deimos, 260 cargo, 2 crew station. This is the one that was on the Razerleaf. Then I put a Deimos 1x1 companionway with a Deimos slim docker on top. Then we have this Deimos computer court 2x1. And then on top of that we have a Deimos spine C and a Deimos spine C. What? Oh yeah, sorry. They're both the same spine, but they're just kind of flipped like that. And then behind that we have this Hope Tech radiator, just to give it a bit of kind of structure. And then this piece here will sit between the 2 engines when we get to that point. Now next, if we go to the next section, the middle, basically. So each of these wings, so on the right wing we have the captain's quarters and the armory. On the left wing we have the science lab and the infirmary. Now we've got the engines in the back here. These White Dwarf 3050 engines. These are the ones that give us the 180 speed. Now you'll notice there is some shroud engine bracers inside here. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do that in a moment. And then for the weaponry mounted on these Nova wings, we have 2 of these Disruptor 3310 proton beams from Horizon Defense. A-class, 3500 range, 3.49 power, 18 hull and shield damage, and 3 power requirements. And then the Infiltrator SC-02 missile launchers from Horizon Defense. A-class, 3700 range, 1 fire rate, 68.25 hull and shield damage, 3 power. And then for the main armaments, we have 4 of these Vanguard Obliterator auto projectors, A-class, 3000 range, 6.65 fire rate, 11 hull and shield damage, and 2 power. Now these are mounted on these Deimos wings. So the way it's set up here, I'll just show you real quick. We'll move these. So you basically start off with these 2 sections here, like so. And then you want to put these in first. So I like to put this one, this Deimos wing facing forward. And then we put the Deimos wing facing backwards like so. And then you get 2 of these Nova cowlings, one facing forward, one facing back, and you snap it in. Now it won't want to snap. It'll say no, it's red. You just press the duplicate or the flip button, which is Y on Xbox. I don't know what it is on PC, but you just flip it back, and then let go of it. And it slats in a position. And same again, just snap this, flip it back, flip it in. Perfect. And then for this, it's just simple of like snapping it there, like so. Now, for the engines, the way you want to do this, I'm going to move it real quick. So we've got 2 of these Shroud engine bracers. We've got 3 altogether. The way you would get this in here properly, so you have your engine bracer first, snapping that to the wing. And then you need a higher snap point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, just an armory. Anything that can snap. You want to place it above the original armory. And then you want to move this white dwarf engine above it like so. And then if you press the duplicate button, it might initially snap up. If it does, that's fine. And then just duplicate again and it will snap down. And as you can see there, when you get rid of the top one, that's in nice and easy. So next for this section, we have these little pieces. So there's two of these. We've got two Deimos Spine A4s, 4 Deimos Cowling, 2 facing forward, 2 facing backwards, 2 more Deimos Spine Cs, and then 2 more Deimos Spine A. So you're just going to grab these, and these are simply going to snap like that, with each end basically connecting to the engine and the last piece of the habitat module. Now for the middle of the vessel, we're going to grab this and we're going to bring this in. Now once again, I'm going to show you real quick. So we're going to snap this in place like so. And I'm going to snap this one beside it like so. Perfect. Now for the engine here, we're going to have to basically do the same thing, because as you can see here, this is the middle section. So the middle section, getting this piece to snap was quite tricky. So basically what I had to do, I'll show you real quick. So you need like a snap point. So for instance, when it comes to snap point, I just use just a 1x1. And then you want to snap it up there like so. And then I'm going to delete this briefly just to show you, because you need to have multiple. So what you do is you would snap. Need to remove, I'm just going to remove these. You have to basically make a way to it, so like that. And you basically want it to snap like that. So it's snapping above this snap point. And if you look at it and press Y, or whatever the button is, it will then snap down like so, and it will connect. I'm just going to undo that just so you can see that again. So like I was saying, you want to make a little snap point just off above it. Just look at it, snap it down, perfect. Gonna undo all that just quick. Perfect. Okay. So now there's, for the middle of the vessel, so there's some more duplicating here. So basically, the habitat modules we have the Nova Galactic 2x1 armory here. This is the one that allows us to store our suit if we didn't lose it. And then we have the Deimos Workshop 2x1. Now between them, we have the Helios 400 Grav Drive from Deep Core, A-Class 9 Power, 27 Thrust, which in the current config gives us 25. And then we have the shield generator here, the Deflector SG60 shield generator from Sexton Shield System, A-Class, 9 Power, 860 shield. This is the best shield generator. Now you'll notice with this shield generator, it's floating, but it's not actually floating. If we put it here, like so, so it sits there. So what you're going to do is, to get this to kind of sit there, you're just going to put this back where it belongs, this whole tick right here, bring it in, let it snap, flip it back, and let go of it. And just like that, it has snapped. And then we also have this piece here. This is a Hope Tech pipe. It's just kind of there to reinforce the engine. So we're going to move this now. This snaps in there. Once again, you're going to have to flip it and then flip it back. Perfect. Now for this front section here, there's a little bit of duplicating. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these side pieces first. So it consists of 2 of these. Each side has 2 Tayo cowlings, 4 bottom, 1 facing forward, 1 facing backwards. And then we have 2 of these Ulysses H3 tanks. So we're going to grab these. These tanks give 75 or 70 each. So we're just going to grab them. And then we're going to go underneath the little area like so. And we're just going to strap them right there like that. And then we're going to go the other side and do the exact same thing. Now these snap, basically these sit directly under the 2 kind of habitat modules on each side. So one piece stops there, just right under the that one, and one piece stops there. Now for the for the kind of the middle of the vessel here. So we have this kind of system set up. Basically what I've done, I'll show you real quick. So we'll move this out. So I have put we've put the shield generator, or the reactor, the Spheromac DC-202 reactor from Deep Core, A-class, 33 power. This is the best reactor in the game for A-class. I basically just snapped this in between it. So what I did was got these pieces. These are the Deimos Wing A, starboard. These are facing backwards. Just snap them in like that. And then I added these pieces once again. You just basically slap them in and flip them and then let go. And they're just there kind of to add more like structural rigidity. And then we snap snap that in there like so. Now I wanted to add some kind of armoring to it to make it look like it wasn't, you know, just there. So we made use of a Nova bracer. And the way you can get this in, it's pretty straightforward. You just snap to the point above it. And then you place that above said point, like so. And then you just duplicate. It'll go on top sometimes. And then if it does, just duplicate again. And then there we go. And we have, see that there, it looks a lot nicer. And then finally we have this Deimos Cowling 4. This is there just to kind of even it out, make it look a little nicer. And then this piece here is supposed to go over there. So the only other kind of tricky thing is these caravels. So we're going to mount this real quick underneath first. So we're going to grab everything. Now it probably won't want to, it's not going to want to snap initially. So it sits like that. But as you can see, it doesn't want to snap. And the reason it doesn't want to snap is because of these side pieces here. So we're going to move these side pieces temporarily. And we're going to grab the rest of it. And of course the landing gear is in the way. Give me a second. I'm just going to move this. I'm going to move this across. So you're just going to snap this here like so. Now the thing with this is I should probably mention this first. This cockpit doesn't want to play nice with it. So you're going to have to remove the cockpit first. And then when you snap it, you basically will snap it so that one half of the armory is sticking under like so. And then we can go and we can really quickly add these little winglet pieces here. Once again, it's going to want to snap, but it's going to be red. So you just flip it back. Same on the other side. Just snap it in like so. Come on. And then flip it back. Now to get the cockpit where we want to go, we're going to have to do the same thing as before. We're going to have to make a snap point above it. And we're going to just up here like so. And then just press Y to drop it down. And then perfect. Now for these pieces here, we're just going to add them. They're going to connect onto the back. There's a little spot for them. Let me show you. They're just going to basically sit flush there. So the grav drive will be separating them. Now for the cargo, the little cargo, like I said, if you were to remove this cargo, you would get 100 mobility, but you'd only have 260 cargo. And I feel like it's nice to have a little bit of cargo. So what you want to do is the cargo will slot in right there, like so. So you just slot it in, flip it back, let go of it. And then once again, you're going to flip it in, flip it back, let go of it, perfect. Now the final kind of section is just the landing gear. So the front landing gear consists of two of these Deimos Skeg A's and a Deimos 320 Seat B landing gear. So this basically goes under here and it sits exactly like that. And then the back landing gear, which also consists of a Deimos Skeg A and a single lander. This is going to sit directly under the the fuel tanks. So the Skege is going to sit on the front fuel tank and the lander on the back fuel tank. And then the exact same the other side, like so. Perfect. And then finally, we have the landing bay 120 from Deimos, and we have this belly 4 from Deimos. This is just, yeah, to kind of give it out. So this snaps in right there like that. And then that's it. Now you have a lot of hard points for where if you want to, these weapons are just kind of an idea. You can definitely slap them. As you can see, there's a lot of places you can slap weapons, and that was intentional. I wanted to kind of make it that you can configure it whatever way you want. Let's say maybe you don't like having beam lasers and you'd like to put on some, let's see. Let's say you want to put on some suppressors. Well, you can. We could get some suppressors and we can slap the suppressors, like say up here. Put 2 suppressors over here. Or maybe you want multi-cannons, because, you know, I call them multi-cannons, but they're not. It's an Elite Dangerous thing, I apologize. Maybe you want some multi-cannons and you want to put them front and center. You can also do that. Now, obviously, you can't do this all at once because you only have 3 weapons. But if you wanted to, you could put them there. But yeah, there's a lot of possibilities with how, like, you kind of configure the ship. That's kind of the whole point, like why I kind of made it the way I did, because like I said, I want to give the ability to kind of upgrade it whatever way you want. If you want to add different weapons, you can. If you want to, let's say you want to swap out like some of these quarters for other things, you know, over habitats, you definitely can. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to really quickly jump and show you a little bit of combat in this, just to kind of show you that it is quite capable. So I'll kind of have that now. Give me one moment. All right, so it took a bit, but I finally found a Varun that is willing to let me test my weapons. So just to confirm, I am playing on normal difficulty. Now, if you play on the higher difficulties, like very hard, this is still a very capable ship. But because very hard is kind of, well, very hard, you'll have to kind of rely on perks to kind of give you a little bit of a better advantage. Anyway, so I'm going to go first person. As you can see, weapons are absolutely dominating them. And they took very little off my shield, which is nice. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think of the transformation, and also let me know if you guys plan on using it, or if you've kind of made your own like if you've basically upgraded your own Razerleaf. Let me know how that went. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and check out some other content. Bye bye.